Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. Today is September 19th, 2019, Thursday, 4 o'clock p.m., San Francisco time. And today we're going to talk about a bunch of things. So, what is the topic? Good morning, Jeremy. Have not seen you for a while. Have you ever been on my talk show, Jeremy? I know you for like 3 years, right? 3 years on Mastodon. For almost, I think, 4 years. From the Adam, what's his name? Adam's radio show. What's his name, Jeremy? Uh, that guy. Like type the John Adams and something Vorak. Watching using Adam Curry. Yes, no agenda show. So let me tell you guys about that show. So actually, so I don't listen to radio shows at all. I mean, that's just not my lifestyle. So I've never listened to radio shows, and I don't. Um, some like I some people tell me you just play in the background, but that doesn't work for me because usually if I play some radio shows in the background, I don't I don't listen. Like it doesn't. When I want to listen to something, I have to like just listen to it. So playing in the background usually doesn't work for me because sometimes people talk about interesting things. Then I have to stop what I'm doing. Then I just have to concentrate, listen. So anyway, so there is this show, Adam Curry and John Dvorak. Now Adam Curry is a guy who basically invented podcast. One of the idiotic jargons from the tech nerds. Okay, podcast. Why is it called podcast? Because iPod. Apple invented this little MP3 device, iPod. So in the beginning, you have broadcast. I mean, you have broadcast. So they have the iPod, the Apple's product, MP3 player, and people. But anyway, so podcast just means audio recording, kind of. Yeah, a show audio recorded, and you can play it anytime you want. So but these days I don't think I heard the term podcast much anymore. Am I correct? uh and Jeremy says broadcasting came from agriculture to cast seeds. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so anyway, so Adam Curry invented podcast, kind of. I guess back in 2000, was it 2002, something like that, 2005, and okay, and John Dvorak, I kind of know. I didn't know Adam Curry until 4 years ago, but John Dvorak, he is this guy. I never liked him. There's a story to it. I never liked John Dvorak because he is the tech columnist for like 30 years or even 40 years, at least 30 years. So he write tech columns like about programming, about operating systems. Like back then, I know, like back. I mean, he began even in 1980s, but I got into computing in 1990s, but even in 1990s, he write for PC magazine, sometimes for Mac magazine. Anyway, all these tech magazines, Mac World and so on. And I know. So in the 90s, I know from reading history, I know he has written um, pieces, articles that criticize Unix. So that's right on our topic. John Dvorak, and his style. I mean, he's this curmudgeon kind of type of guy. Even back in 90s, like his style is always sarcastic and criticizing things. And usually, so I read, back then in the 1990s, I was a Mac fan, and usually when I read his stuff, it doesn't, I don't believe him. I don't. It's not convincing to me. I think he's in today's jargons, today's lingo, today's you just call him a troll, and a lot of people call him a troll, I guess. But however, around 2000, around 2014 maybe. When Google Plus is over the place, 2013 or 2014 also. Google Plus is all over the place, and John Dvorak, I saw him live when he joined one of the show, Twit. What is it show called, Jeremy? Do you know? The run by another guy, Twit. I think the show is just called Twit. So John Morak is a guest on the show. So I actually saw him, and I like that guy. From that day on, I like that guy. So he's this kind of he's kind of this humor guy, and always sarcastic. He kind of a gadfly. He always poke fun of you or things, and yeah, he's a funny guy. But anyway, the No Agenda show, I haven't listened to much because I don't listen to radio shows. I tried it like two times. Doesn't work out for me. So okay, so let me. So today, what is today's topic, guys? Like, go into the description and find a topic, and let's talk about it. Let me read the comments. Okay, so that's about No Agenda show, and let's go to Kazaa Talk Show page, and today's topic. So magnify. So let's go to today's topic. We need to log down what we talked about today. So Kazaa Talk Show date, Kazaa new page. Okay, and make it a li, cut it, paste it here, and go to the page. So we talked about Adam Curry, father, daddy of podcast, and John Dvorak. What's a fun way to put it? He's the curmudgeon. Curmudgeon. How do you spell curmudgeon? Curmudgeon. DGON. Nah, that's wrong. Let's see. Curmudgeon not found. So okay, so you need to go to web search. There it is. Curmudgeon. Stupid English. What is the etymology of a curmudgeon? Actually, that's interesting. So let's do that. Etymology. So anyway, curmudgeon, and the No Agenda show. Now, No Agenda show, as far as I know, is kind of it's not mainstream. Okay, for it's not mainstream. So many of you guys might like it. Uh, just search for No Agenda show. I'm pretty sure you'll find it. It's a podcast. So curmudgeon. Let's look at the etymology of curmudgeon. So etymology linkify. Okay, let's show in browser. Let's look at curmudgeon. So curmudgeon means churlish, miserly fellow, mean man, from 1570s of unknown origin. Oh, unknown origin. The suggestion based on a misreading of a garbled note from Johnson, that is from French, over merchant, evil heart, something. Anyway, origin unknown. That's interesting. Origin unknown, guys. So we got something that's origin unknown, like UFO. so so what's okay? That's geometry. That's interesting stuff. So let's see what I need to read the comments so I get feedback. What's going on? So Jeremy, Weebo. Good morning, Weebo. Weebo, Champlu. Weebo, Champlu. Weeaboo, Champlu. Where are you from? From what island you came from? So let's see. Thomas Wall. Good morning, Thomas. Thomas, where are you from? So do you recommend Perl as a general purpose programming language for a LAMP web developer? for a lamp stack. Lamp stand for Linux, Apache, MySQL, and P stand for PHP. So do I recommend Perl as a general purpose language? Not really. So in my opinion, Perl is dead today. So yeah, it really practically speaking, it's dead. So I would not recommend it. You rather actually go with just if you are on the lamp stack, just go with PHP. PHP is actually very good today. Okay, now PHP and JavaScript, these two languages are the languages every hacker hates. These Unix people, idiots. Okay, that's in my opinion. Every hacker hates PHP and JavaScript. However, they become the most popular. Like PHP throughout 2000 is the number one most popular language, and JavaScript today you could say is the number one most popular language. Okay, you know why? Because all the good languages they have a code like Lisp, Haskell. I talk about this many times in my video. In hacker community, these elite programmers they have some kind of code. Okay, and usually the languages they promote don't fare well. Don't fare well. Okay, because why? Because it's a code. It's a code, and these elite hackers fucks. They tell you what to do. They tell you, oh, you need to use Monad. Like they don't solve practical problems. Like every time you have a question, you go ask, and if it's Haskell, people are gonna say, oh, did you try Monad? Monad, you should try Monad. Oh, you should use currying. In Lisp scheme group, they will say, oh, you should use tail recursion, and they talk, they talk in their fantasy land. Tail recursion. Scheme, where is scheme today? Scheme is tail recursing on Mars. Okay, okay, and okay, that's scheme. Then this, common list. Then they're gonna tell you, oh, Marcos. These idiots. So meanwhile, the PHP language and JavaScript, they are kind of this language like they are, they are not elite. They are of the low ground. But anyway, when you have a question, people actually answer. Oh, you need to do this way. I mean, they give you, just the answer to your question. And so they are, and I mean, so they don't have a code. In fact, JavaScript and PHP, that's two languages everyone hates so much. Even today, you still have that. You can see it everywhere on Hacker News, on all the social media, Twitter. But however, PHP and JavaScript, they yeah, they are so they because they don't have this code affiliation, so they grow and grow, and they focus on, they are truly just focus on practicality. And today, in my opinion, PHP is very good. Okay, I would say PHP is a very good language, and JavaScript, I wouldn't say it's very good. I mean, because JavaScript has huge amount of baggage. Well, same thing with PHP, but JavaScript is, the syntax is pretty bad. Anyway, so that's my opinion about PHP and JavaScript. So yeah, so Adam and John, the Adam Curry and John Dvorak is no, they market themselves as crackpot and buzzkill. Yeah, buzzkill is John Dvorak. I can see that. Now Adam, I don't know much about Adam. I'm following Adam on Twitter, but they are kind of old though. They are like 60 something, right? Or even 70. Yeah. So Weibo says, if you were learning a natural language with Emacs, do you have any pieces of advice within orgmod? Huh. If you were learning a natural language with Emacs, do you have any piece of advice within orgmod? Like what do you mean? Like so you mean like if I'm learning French and I'm a Emacs user and I'm using orgmod. So what is any tips? Like what? I mean, I can see what. So Weibo, type your question. Okay, I don't quite get what. Jeremy says no agenda takes the format of an old-fashioned wacky morning DJ show. Okay, complete with soundboard, but does very serious media analysis. Very very good stuff. Okay, I can trust you on that. Complete with soundboard. Now, what does soundboard mean? Yeah, I don't. Soundboard is like I know what's a storyboard. Storyboard is like when you make a movie, a film, you draw like kind of like comics. You have one cell and next cell, and you illustrate the stories. So that's storyboard. I don't know what is a soundboard. Soundboard is sets of samples that are played for effect. Oh, okay, okay. Uh, Etymology of Weibo. Okay, what? Okay, what? What is the etymology of Weibo? We a we need to look that up. I don't even know what is Weibo. What does Weibo mean? So etymology, Linkify, show in browser. Let's check it out. And Weibo is not a word. I don't think maybe a slang. It's not a proper English word, right? Weibo, Urban Dictionary. Okay, not sure I want to read that. Okay, it says a person who retains an unhealthy obsession with Japan and Japanese culture. Okay, I got it. Typically ignoring or even shunning their own racial and cultural identity. Okay, Weibo. That's about Weibo. That's a lot of the current young people culture. Yeah, like Japanese culture in America is kind of this exotic thing. It's interesting in several ways. Okay, first of all, Japanese is it's in Orient, Far East, so it's exotic for sure. It's exotic to American because it's Eastern culture, including Chinese. So it's foreign to American culture. So and Japan and but also Japanese, aside being part of the ASEAN, largely influenced by China, but Japanese has their own. They have kind of, for example, anime. Okay, anime is but they also on sexuality they have they have their particular lots of weird things in Japan. Okay, and meanwhile, in contrast, American people, which is, if I may say, the background is Puritan Christianity. You don't allow gay or or sex or or I, there are some words I don't want to mention because Google is starting going to ban. So anyway, Puritan, it's very very they don't want sex stuff. So Japanese stuff to Americans is very it's like just out there and but also meanwhile their Japanese anime is so cute, it's so well done, so that's one thing. But I think there's another aspect. Okay, is so the Japanese culture becomes very popular in America. One reason is because Japanese is very exotic. Okay, their culture is very exotic in American eyes. Not too much to Chinese because we are kind of we are kind of the same. We share the same culture, but to American eyes, to the white people's eyes. Okay, that's one thing. But however, there's another thing. The other thing I would say the reason Japanese becomes so kind of, I mean, it's not just popular. Okay, here's the thing. You see, Japanese culture in America, for example, anime. It's not just popular. It's kind of in a weird state because, for example, on social networks, on Twitter, everywhere, on Twitter, on Mastodon, you will see a ton of people, American white people, okay, who don't speak Japanese, but however, you'll see their profile photo, as a Japanese anime girl, some cute girl, or and their profile text will be some Japanese text, okay, and you see, That's the thing. You see, this is not just a normal popularity. It's not just normal being popular. Many movie stars are popular, right? Movie singers in America or are popular in USA, but the Japanese thing, culture, anime stuff, they are not just simply being popular. They have kind of um, maybe the proper word is subculture in America. So you see all these profiles, American people with Japanese profile photos and things, and some even go to the extreme where every their post is almost like in Japanese. Okay, that's a phenomenon. And for example, let me mention another guy, JWZ, very famous. He's famous for having forked Emacs. He's famous for Emacs. He's famous for having written the Unix version of Netscape browser. He's on the TV shows, Silicon Valley stuff. So JWZ guy, he on his blog, he's posting about Japanese stuff all day, like for the past 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. He's every week he's posting Japanese stuff, and his style and attitude is like he's half making fun of Japanese stuff, and anyway, he's kind of a weird guy. So that's about Japanese culture in America. Oh, let me mention another reason. Okay, another reason is Japan are somewhat politically friends with USA. Or in American, the way American says, we say we say they are friends. We say they are our friends. This is interesting because, for example, United Kingdom and USA Americans, they are friends. Okay, they are friends. They are of the same origin, basically. German, or Eastern, Western Europe, okay, and America. As today's social justice say, they are white people. They have the same origin. They share many things, beliefs and culture. But politically, so they are friends, mostly politically. But Japanese are not exactly like that, friends with USA. But however, Japan is a friend, rather ally with USA. Why? Because you want to friend with Japan to fight the China, the communist China. So that's part of the reason. I think that is a part of the reason there is this kind of a weird Japanese popularity in American culture. On the other hand, for example, in contrast, you don't see this with Chinese. Many of the Japanese things, they are Chinese origin, but you don't see USA. You don't see Chinese. I mean, even today, Chinese has become so powerful. Shooting rockets and stuff. You don't see much news in USA media. Every time you hear about China, it's like, oh, they are so evil. We need to free them. Yeah, so that's in contrast. You don't see much Chinese culture, in as pop culture in USA, but you do see that as Japanese culture. So that's about that. Etymology. So La Casaca, where are you from? That looks like a Spanish name. La Casaca. JavaScript is the language of the people. Okay, of the new generation, though, at least. Jeremiah says people just love to hate on things. Thanks. Thomas War says thanks. Oh, okay. About that Emacs, about the Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP stuff. Okay. So Jeremy says, okay, so Adam Curry was formerly a VJ on NTV. Okay. VJ stand for video jockey. Oh, okay. So he was a VJ on MTV. What does video jockey do? I guess you just edit videos in real time or what? So Weebo says, I suppose cool Ogmod note taking methods. aside from the obvious hierarchical structure and automatic tables creation. Yeah, so Weibo says about learning a new language in Ogmod. I don't know about any tips about that. What, you know, I mean, cool Ogmod note taking methods. That's one thing interesting. But when it comes to learning a new language, I don't see Ogmod has anything to do with it. I mean, anything particular. So I don't know. And also, I mentioned this few times. If you look at my old videos, there are a few. People always want me to talk about Ogmod or compare. Why are you using HTML? Why are not using Ogmod? So it's a frequently asked question. I talked about it a few times. If you search my YouTube video, so I'm not a Ogmod user. So I don't know any much tips about that. So in fact, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, there's 10 minutes or 20 minutes talking about Ogmod. So maybe you would be interested. I explain why I don't use Ogmod. I explain why I use HTML, and I give a short outline of Ogmod features and you know and my experiences. Yeah, the title is so. For example, the title of that talk is "Go to Xa Talk Show, Search Ogmod." Okay, here it is. 2019, September 12th. Mandelbrot said, "Entrepreneurship. My experience of Ogmod. Why isn't your mom using Linux?" Okay, that's that one. So check out that one. Catchphrase like drums, a catchphrase from actors or politicians. Introduction host of so VJ video jockey is introduces and hosts thematic programs presenting music videos. So anything else, any other topics? Otherwise, we just go random, I guess. So I've been talking for 30 minutes. We can do maybe another 30 minutes. Um, your mom is using Linux if she has a Fire Act or an Android. Fire? Oh, Fire Android. That's not Linux. Okay, I know Jeremiah. Okay, is that pronounced correctly, Jeremiah? I mean, you are a Linux fan and you are an open source fan, right? Or maybe a Free Software Foundation fan. But I don't think you are correct in saying she uses Linux if she has a Fire or Android. That's not true. Those Android users, they are using Google. They have nothing to do whatsoever with Linux. Google is using Linux because it's free. It benefits them. They are like the thief. They just grab it. They do whatever they are the extreme evil, as you know. You agree with me on that. So then when we talk about who is using Linux, I mean you are saying oh yeah, but look, all the Android users are all using Linux, so therefore Linux is so great, right? That's the that's why you are saying that. But that in my view, in my point of view, that's not the case at all. Nobody is using Linux because Linux sucks so bad. Yeah, there we go again. Linux is a kernel. Most of us don't use it unless we adjust parameters. Yeah, so to the Linux fan people, then they change their definition of Linux. When Apple is using Linux, they say, "Oh, look, even Apple adopted Linux or Unix, because Linux is so great." Then when there's a criticism, they say, "Oh, that's not Unix. Tar is not Unix. Shell is not. Bash is not Unix. You need to switch your shell. Okay. Oh, X11 is not Unix. It's not. Then So what is Linux? Linux is a kernel. It's like that's bias. So, okay, everyone has bias. So in my opinion, that's a typical Linux users. One of the example. Now, anyway, so I think we should switch to some different topic because I rant about open source all day and night. Almost every week. Sometimes going on hours. So So anything else? So I guess no other topic then. Uh, no other topic. So anything else? Guys, just type it. Emacs questions or anything. So otherwise, I'm just going to talk about some random stuff. Yeah. So today we are not talking about technical stuff, because usually my concern is that when we talk about technical stuff, we just focus on technical. But we already have for 30 minutes random stuff. So this is today's juice. Today's juice is tomato juice. This is from Dollar Tree store. In USA you have these stores called Dollar Tree. That's everything is $1. So that's $1 a bottle. Then you have this cheap energy drink, nameless. What is it? Rip it. Okay, energy drink, sugar free, of course. I always drink sugar free, and let me show you. Few days ago, that's hold on a second. Let me try this video. Okay, that didn't work. A few days ago, my roommate gave me this mooncake. Mooncake. A few days ago is Chinese Autumn Festival. Okay, you cannot see it, but mooncake. Have you had mooncake, Jeremiah? And Jeremiah is in. Where are you, Jeremiah? In the mid USA or eastern USA? I forgot. So Jeremiah says Lisp in browser implementation that are fun. Closure. Wisconsin. Oh, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is the cows. State of cows. Am I correct? Well, lots of cheese, right? That's what I know of Wisconsin. So let's see what I can get out of this mooncake. Now I have this very lousy camera. This is mooncake cut into a quarter piece. Um, the land of the spotted cow. Oh, right. Okay, the spotted cow. So spotted cow. So there are cows that's not spotted, I guess. Yeah, I haven't even heard of that phrase, spotted cow. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna finish eating. Then I'm gonna talk. Okay. Oh, so this page is Old Man Software. Now look, are you on your phone, Jeremiah? So when I make it to the Chinese bakery, I rarely make it past the red bean paste buns. Yeah, those are good. So you're on desktop. Okay. So you're talking about closure. Well, so are you doing closure? I know Jeremiah is a big Lisp fan, and you've been coding Lisp like since 20 years ago, something like that. I'm also a Lisp fan, but as you know, I criticize Lisp all the time. Yeah, I don't like the common Lisp phonetics. Okay, I know you are a big fan of Lisp. I think you coded Lisp since long ago, right? And do you still code Lisp? So are you learning Clojure, or are you? I talked about Clojure a few times in my video, so I'm not sure. So for example, there is this, recently. So 2019 September 15th, there is this video, uh, rotate 13 bash perl ruby closure Linux Mac Windows key binding and Emacs efficiency. So that's September 15th video. We talked about that. um, So Jeremiah says Lisp, but more Scheme. Yeah, Scheme. I usually say Lisp to mean the larger family. Okay. Okay, so I will look for past videos, so don't waste anyone's time. Yeah. Well, I mean, my videos, I'm just random talk. Okay, my videos, they don't get much views. 100. Typically, each video is 100. And I kind of know why, because I'm not like aiming to make it popular, because the way I'm doing is like random talk, like random chat, sometimes for 90 minutes, unfocused. um, so that's not typically what people want. So the way I'm doing, just like my blogs, typically my followers will become this niche in the mainstream group, uh, you know also kind of intellectual, and also very in the mainstream, weird people. Okay, so that becomes my follower, and there are not many that such person. But if you want to become popular, for example, I would have an Emacs channel. Every day is just like, let's say, 20 minutes, no more. 20 minutes, no live chat, just focus 20 minutes, Emacs, everything about Emacs and Emacs list. Then another channel on JavaScript, for example. Every day is about JavaScript, just technical tutorial. That will make me more popular. But that's the thing. That's just not my thing. Society, everyone becomes. That's actually a selfish move. We like these smokes. Okay, yeah. Well, that's because you become my follower. Because you see, life is almost like where you take it to be. Because I'm like this, so now all my followers are like you guys. Okay, yeah. And some people will tell me, no, the moment you change, you become weird. We start following you. That's correct. Yeah, and I like it. I like you guys. But however, I mean, but however, we are kind of in this very niche group, because I know for sure, I know if one day I started to do, focus, then I'll get 10 times more followers, and they all like that, they want that. They don't want your weird personality or talk about philosophy or things like that. Weeaboo, what country are you from? Like, if you don't mind, so nobody know who you are. Like, say what country or city you from. Did you say that? No, I don't think so. So, and another thing about video is that you tend to repeat many questions. Many topics a lot. And I mentioned this before. It's like almost unavoidable, because like I observed, I'm an observer of things. I'm much of a thinker and philosopher, not much of anything else. So I observe, like, you look at the pop star singers. Okay, Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, Prince, or today's singers, whatever. Some of them, like, the same song they have to sing for 20 years. Like sometimes you hear a song on stage, you think that's not the way you sing it, because they changed. They changed the tune and stuff. Because you imagine they have to sing the same song for 20 years, you really get tired, fucking tired of it. However, most people, vast majority of people going to your concert, because they are so familiar with your song A, or your particular song, they just want to listen that. So that's a situation you just have to repeat. Like, you go on stage, you tour, you repeat the same thing, and that's what people want to know. That's unavoidable. And the same thing happens with scholars and lecturers. For example, Jordan Peterson and Camille Paglia. You watch their YouTube videos, right? once after 10 or 20 of them, you see a lot of repetitions, right? That's the same thing. So I think it's the same thing with me, because then every day, often the Unix thing, which language is the best, can you, closure or Lisp things, they kind of turn up and up again. And Wolfram language, Wolfram research, Wolfram Mathematica stuff. Um, so that's, so this is, so this is just, I think it's just the life situation. There's nothing, it's just the way life is. You have to, um, that's just the way it is. Hanging out with Xa's living room. Thanks for the tip on. So Jeremiah is in Wisconsin. Wisconsin gets cold in the winter. So let's go to Google Maps. And Wisconsin has a accent. This particular accent, because I remember in 1992 I have this kind of my boss. She's not really my boss, but she's, I was working as a secretary, and she's one of the sales people. She came from Wisconsin, and whenever she says copy, like, can you make a copy of this? Like, because I'm a secretary, I type for them, I do things for them in the office, so sometimes I make a copy for them, a copy of documents. And she always say, make a copy. Wait, how does she say it? Make a copy. Yeah, that's the way she say it. Make a copy. Let's see, where's Wisconsin is this middle. Let's remove the auto click. Yeah, Wisconsin there gets cold. I lived in Illinois for a while. I went to Kansas for a few days because there's company back in 2000, 2001 or so. I went to Kansas for a few days. I lived in Illinois, Champaign, Illinois, for half a year in 1995 because I was working for Wolfram Research. Champaign, there it is, Champaign, Illinois. Uh, you know, my impression is that every day in the morning you wake up, you smell done. You smell done. you know, you wake up to the done of cows. Uh, Champaign, Illinois, and so Champaign, Illinois, I lived there for half a year. Then the other place I lived is Maryland. I lived there in 2006, I think 2006 for half a year. Maryland, where is it? Maryland is somewhere here. It's Maryland. Maryland is very small state. They don't even show the state. Let's see, West Virginia, Maryland. Okay, here. Maryland. So East Coast, Maryland. The impression I got is all the highways or roads, you have potholes. The roads are not very good, and yeah, it's kind of poor. I think it's kind of poor state. So let's see. Bosiat, Bastiat says, thanks for the tip on not binding capslock on control on desktop. Yeah, that's one of my gripe of the popular, you know, the popular thing hackers tell other people to do, to change, to swap caps lock to control. I don't think it's a good thing. However, if you are on a laptop, then that's a good thing. So what's a good thing to do? A good thing to do on a normal, if you are not using a laptop keyboard, if you are using a full-size keyboard, the best thing to do is actually to use a modal mod, like evil mod or softlight keys. That's the best thing to do. And if you are using evil mod or softlight keys, then you make the caps lock do modal switch. Okay, and when you press the caps lock, don't do not press it like oops, my sun is shining into my face. Do not press it like, do not move your pinky like that. Do not do that. Rather, you move your whole hand. It's like you do it like that. Okay, so whenever you want to press the caps lock, you just do like that. Do not like move the pinky. Okay, so first thing to do is to use a modal mod. Modal mod is much better. You have to spend 1 month to learn it. Okay, though in this 1 month you have a lot of frustration, but it's a better long run. Okay, and once you are using a modal mod, uh, then caps lock for modal switch is a good choice. So that's one thing. Now, if you are not using a modal mod, the second best thing, if you are using a normal PC keyboard, is try to use a try to make the old key as control. Okay, make the old key as control. So I have lots of articles about that. Solely caps lock. I have like several articles about that. Let me just write it down. So Microsoft Windows swap caps lock control. Okay, that's how to. That's how to swap on Microsoft Windows. So Linux swap caps lock escape keys. Okay, that's another how to. And here's how to make caps lock key to do home key. That's another how to. And this one is for Emacs. And I'm opening new tabs so we can visit them later. And this article, Emacs, why you should not swap caps lock and control. Okay. And another article, use your palm to press the control key in Emacs. Now, actually, this is someone else's blog, but I have my own blog about that. I guess he linked to me. But anyway, there's already a lot of articles. So let me just copy. So there is one. Let's just post to Xas Talk Show. So that. So Microsoft Windows. This is how to swap caps lock with Alt or swap it with Control. Okay, that's one article. Now this is swap caps lock to escape key on Linux. Okay, that's another article. You also have a Linux article on swapping caps lock to home and to, of course, to control as well, somewhere. Okay, I have too many articles. So let me just paste it. Okay. How to swap to home key. Okay. Then this article. Okay, so this article is about how to press the control key, ergonomic way to press the control key. Normally, now if you are not swapping control, okay, then one way, if you are not using a laptop keyboard, and if you are not using if you are not swapping control, then a good technique to press control is just use your palm. Okay, I cannot demonstrate that because right now I'm using a Dvorak. I mean, using a Kinesis keyboard. As you can see, it's not a normal keyboard, so I cannot demonstrate you the techniques. But however, okay, so maybe I should close the window blind. Hold on a second. So this is annoying. This is a cheap apartment. I got this window blind, and the sun, 4 o'clock, yeah, 5 o'clock, sunset, around sunset, it shines into my face. But anyway, if you are using a normal PC keyboard, okay, then this is a great technique to press the control key. Just use your palm. You use your palm like that. Use your palm like over here, this area, to press the control key. Or you can also curl it into a semi fist and hit the control key. That's what I do. Okay. Or you can use the pinky knuckle like pinky knuckle like that. That's another way to hit control. Do never ever just like never ever like just extend your pinky to hit control. That's no good. Okay, so that's one way. I mean, this photo is not me. Okay, I recommended this technique, and some people, some people follow it, and they have taken pictures and posted to Stack Overflow and elsewhere. So this one came from Stack Overflow, I think, and also Chinese web blog. Okay, this is a Chinese web blog. Anyway, so that's one way to do it. Another way. Okay, so here's another way. This is another guy on super user. One of the Stack Overflow, and I have a demo here. Kind of, this is a video you can play, and also, actually, there's more. What I have a photo of a great technique. Let me find that. Okay, so that's the article. So let me. So this is someone else's blog. Use your palms to press the control key in Emacs. Oh, this blog actually I have not seen. So he says, I'm not saying anything pretend you have to discover. I'm just confirming and trying to convince other Emacs zealots or newbies alike that Xali's 10 years old advice to palm press the control key. Okay, yeah. So let's see. I haven't seen this blog. So here is him doing that. So this is a good thing to do. So let me actually, I haven't seen his blog. Usually I know I've seen blogs that links to my website. Okay, so that there. But okay, but there is another very interesting thing. Okay, this article. When I say this in the Emacs is a code. Okay, Emacs is this heavy code. Every time I say this, people, all the Emacs users, they will flame me. They will say, "Oh, Xal is an idiot." And if now I don't have comments on my blog, I used to have, because the discuss comment system, they start to charge you. Otherwise, they put these ads. They plaster ads, low quality ads all over, like this, like try this weird ways to lose weight. Okay, they post women pictures, scanty clad women, or some plants that looks like a cock. Oh, try this weird food to something to live longer. That's discuss forum. They started to do that. They force ads, and you don't make money with ads. They make money. They force ads, or otherwise you have to pay like $10 a month. So therefore I removed my discuss forum comment system. But I used to have comment system, that's been running for 10 years, and you'll see these people, the Emacs fanatics, they comment. They will say, literally on this page, I should actually, I'm able to show the comments. If I reinsert the discuss comment, and I can do that. Yeah, but I need to find the discuss code. Anyway, so people will say that, and right on this page they will say these are idiot. They honest. This is important. They honestly believe that. What they say. So they'll say this is the most. One of the comment, for example, I don't. Let me paraphrase, but I don't remember exactly how they say it, but I paraphrase it, like very closely. They'll say something like, "This is the most idiotic thing I ever heard." They say that literally because they truly believe it. They say this is the most idiotic thing I never ever heard. Not just one person. I mean, this came from different people. And okay, so that's the comment on my blog. Okay, then you'll see it on Reddit and Stack Overflow and Hacker News. These fucking elite, Unix philosophy idiots. Okay, type of people. You'll see it. They say it. The most idiotic thing ever heard. But on the other hand, you see these people. You see this guy, for example, this guy. Then you see this guy, another guy, then another guy. That blog you just seen, that another guy. They all like it, and that's not just them. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot, who recommended, who say, oh yeah, this is a good advice, let's do this using the palm, now it becomes somewhat popular. Okay, now you'll see them on Reddit, on Stack Overflow. So you see, my problem with these Unix fuckheads is that, you see, they honestly believe what they say, and they honestly say, I'm a troll, that I had, this does not work, so to me it's like they are saying 1 plus 1 equals to 3. Okay, so they are these people. I say 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Okay, but you have this in this code, Emacs code community, Lisp code community, Unix philosophy code community. They say, no, Xi is the most idiotic. 1 plus 1 is actually 3. How could anyone believe 1 plus 1 equals to 2? Now, this is my reaction. Okay, this is how I think. This is how my feel. These fucking people. I mean, how can they possibly have these people? They don't look outside. They don't look outside. They never thought about things. Oh yeah, the other thing. So I have about 10 articles about this caps lock and the control switch issues. Like 10 articles. Like, it gets on my nerves. 10 over 15 years by now. 15 years I've been ranting about this. Then but you have this army, a code army. Like, every time you say, like, even today, I'm pretty sure, if I post on Twitter, if I go to Twitter, for example, I say, oh, try to switch, try not to switch caps lock with control. I'm pretty sure then immediately, even among my followers, you'll get an army of people. Oh no, I don't agree. Oh no, the switch caps lock with control is the best thing. Okay, why does this happen? Because it's a code. They live in this well, for 30 years. Like, because Hacker News, Reddit, all these forums, every day they have this. Any thought that's contrary are banned. Just like they banned me. Like this kind of thing. Like, you using palm to hit control. Now they don't ban. Okay, but 10 years ago they banned it. They fucking this fuck Emacs phonetics, the Unix philosophy fuckheads, and the Linux people. Okay, I'm sorry. I know whenever I started to talk about some of these issues, the detail, I get angry, and I direct. You can see it. Reflected in my expression, and all the fuck words come out, because how can you believe because here is a real example showing how this Linux, this Unix, this community code like people, they how they are factually incorrect, but they insist their way. That's the thing. If you don't, if you do your own way, you think that way is better. I think this way is better. Okay, we have different opinions. We try to see which is better, or we can ignore each other. Okay, you sing your songs, I sing my songs. But that's not the case. In this, whenever I say fuck the Linux people, fuck the Emacs fuckheads, and the common list fuckheads, okay, whenever I say that, that's because they do not allow any of my opinion. Like, when this issue happens, when I say something, they ban me. Fuck these fuckheads and open source fanatics. They ban me because they want to tell you what to do, like programming idioms. For example, in Python, you have this happens in many communities. Perl, Lisp, especially common Lisp, and Python. Okay, at least these three. Okay, for example, and also Emacs. Okay, and Emacs Lisp. They have a kind. It's a code like community. They filter out anything they disagree with. Okay, so they have this code like community. Um, so what was I going to mention? So that's why I get angry. So they not just disagree with your opinion. Then they call you a troll. They start to so-called character assassination. Okay, they do everything bad to you. They don't want your opinion to spread. They say, like even today you can see, oh, Sally, he doesn't code Emacs. I mean, he doesn't know Lisp. He never coded. You did this. I mentioned this one time, yesterday, 2 days ago also. There are a few people, a handful of people, less today. Okay, used to be more, because today there's another power rising up, the social justice. So today you cannot criticize any people anymore for for other reasons. Okay, anyway, so there are a lot of people, I mean, even today, so they don't, they anyway. So that's my rant again about again about that thing. Cool for School says, what do you think about Spacemacs? It has both EvoMod and Emacs key binding. I never use it. I think it's a great idea. I think it's great. So if you like it, I think it's great. Um, yeah, so it's Spacemac is a Emacs distribution, so-called Emacs distribution. That means it's a Emacs but bundled with a bunch of packages all prepared for you. Like, so you don't have to worry about, oh, how do I config, or what package to install. It's a bundle, everything together nicely packaged. Spacemacs, and by default they use EvoMod, key binding, which is like Vim's, okay, and many packages. So it's nice. I wanted to try it, but I just never did. I think what happens now is I'm kind of getting old. So actually, that is true. In fact, past 5 years, Emacs grow and grow. Today, you have like thousands of packages, just like JavaScript library npm. You have like thousands of packages, and if I look at Reddit, many of the questions I don't know, because they are all talking about packages. Um, so it's different from, let's say, 10 years ago, the Emacs community. So I wanted to look into it. I just don't have time, and also because it doesn't do me any good. I mean, what's my point of looking into Spacemacs? Now, as far as for my own benefit, no, because I have my entire system. I'm pretty sure, even I never tried Spacemacs, but I'm pretty sure my system is more efficient than Spacemacs. I have soft keys and my own packages. That's just my own, because I'm a Lisp coder, so I create my own system. But so looking into Spacemacs does not benefit me. I could write a tutorial, and I have my Emacs tutorial for over 15 years now. It doesn't, people, doesn't, you spend huge amount of time on it, you don't get benefits. Okay, no money, you die of hunger. And most of the Emacs community, they don't like me. Okay, because so they don't. So like, for example, another example. Okay, so for example, every now and then, every half a year or a year, on Emacs Reddit, for example, Emacs Reddit on Emacs, you'll see recommendation of Emacs books, okay, or Emacs tutorial. Like some newbie will say, oh, what's a good, I'm trying to, maybe I'm thinking starting to get into Emacs Lisp, what's some good resources you guys can recommend? Okay, you'll see a bunch of recommendations, but almost never, they will never mention my website. Same thing with the Emacs tutorial or things like that. They will not mention my website. But on the other hand, my website, if you look at my website on the internet, okay, my Emacs tutorial and my Emacs Lisp tutorial, they are the most comprehensive, the most by number of topics, by number of articles, by number of words, by the depth they cover. They are they are a magnitude more than anything you find on the web or even published. Okay, I can at least that's the case for Emacs Lisp tutorial. Okay, eLisp for example, if you go to my Emacs list tutorial, so you have practical Emacs, you have practical Emacs list, and you have bunch of you have like a few hundred articles, okay, tutorial focused, not counting the rants. I have bunch of other rants about Richard Stallman, about Lisp language criticism and so on. That not counting those. Anyway, so I have this tutorial, but you see nobody mentioned it. Why? I know why. Because I say things, I criticize Emacs. I say people don't like me, so you don't they they don't link to your site. And also because I mean, even I have friends. Okay, there are some people, many, okay, in the Emacs community, they like me and they somewhat support me. But however, you being kind of this weird guy, it's like you are not mainstream, okay? Whenever they have a hard time, they need to conform. They cannot just point out. You have pressure, like if you mention, for example, today in our political situation, you have to be careful. I mean, even you don't support mainstream, right? But you have the concern. You don't dare to say things, because then all the other people, your friends, see, oh, that guy is trying to associate with the this this extreme right wing group, and then that's a problem. So that's you being ostracized. That's a word. Uh, So I think maybe that's it for today. I've been talking, we've been talking for over 1 hour. So if you have any questions for me, post it. Any other comments, maybe we can do 5 minutes, or yeah, so 5 minutes or so. Yeah. So on the keyboard key binding caps lock topic, actually I'm done yet. I'm not done yet because I want to show. For example, let me show you this. Okay. This is another biased opinion of these people who want to believe. Like when you are in a community, I mean, this happens to everyone, including me. Okay. Now, if you ask me to name something I'm biased, it will be hard because I mean that's true for yourself as well. Because yourself, you don't see it. Even if you try, I mean, you could try. I could try, and I could think of something I'm biased. But generally, it's just hard because and in fact, there is a scientific basis on that because your brain, our brain is not through via evolution, our brain is not geared to think rationally or logically, but rather a lot of it, the way we perceive things has to do with how so we can survive, so we can have more children. It's not about you know so how you become a more just person or more fair person. That's not those true just person, fair person, they get eliminated. You don't get children, you die off. Rather, we are evolution. Your brain, the way you perceive things is more, you perceive things to benefit yourself. That's how all these bias, most of it, a lot of it came from that. So anyway, so in the Emacs community, for example, for those people who insist that you should swap caps lock with control, this is one of the code mantra. They say, they tell everyone, oh, you should swap caps lock with control. So when these people, they will say, one of their thought is that, oh, all the old computers, they all have caps lock at the right position. Okay, that's what they think. They think, okay, like this one. Okay, like this one. This one is DEC VT 1100. Okay, they think all the old computers have caps lock at the right position. This is the original. Wait, not this one. Wait, they think the caps lock should be. Wait. Yeah, here. Okay, here. Look at this Apple keyboard. You see, control is to the left of A. Caps lock is at the corner. Okay, so all these people, Emacs fanatics, they think all the keyboard used to have the control besides A. That's what they think. They want to believe. They want to believe Unix is the best operating system. They want to believe Emacs is the best editor. They want to believe Common Lisp is the greatest language. They want to believe, Perl people want to believe Perl is the best, so on. Python people want to believe computer science. We are computer science, Python. So you want to believe. And Apple fanatics, these fobs, Apple, they have money. They buy every Apple stuff, gadget, every year, whatever Apple come out, they buy. Apple fanatics, they have their they want to believe whatever Apple say. So anyway, but if you actually look history of the caps lock position, that's so what they believe is false. It's just false. Okay. So I did a survey of all the keyboards. So what happens is that it's kind of like half and half. Okay. Some have caps locks to the left of A. Some have caps locks to the corner. But control to the left of A. Okay. But anyway, these people believe it is, yeah, they typically, they are also Microsoft haters. So they believe it is Microsoft. They blame on Microsoft. Microsoft created keyboard that made the caps lock to the left of A popular. That's not true. Actually, the one that made it popular is IBM. IBM PC keyboard. That keyboard and series of IBM PC keyboard made the caps lock to the left of A popular, universal kind of. Okay. So here's a survey of all keyboards, And also, by the way, Lisp never had control to the left of A. Lisp machine keyboards is kind of out, it's weird compared to all the others. So I have a collection of Lisp machine keyboards. Actually, a few months ago, I have a video. I talked about this Lisp machine keyboards topic for 1 hour. So you have, and they relate to Lisp history. That's a very interesting topic by itself. So okay, so I think that's about it for today. So let me check the comments. So yeah, that's it for today. And so Bastiat says, why is Control H in Emacs is for help, but in Bash it is backspace default? Yeah, there is a history to that. Now, in Bash, Control H is backspace. That is because in historically the terminal, I know the reason for that, but I forgot if I have a blog about that. I might have, but I know someone else has written blogs about that. I think if you search the web, you'll find it. But let me show you trackball history. If you go to XR keyboard blog, then go to keyboard history. I think that Control H for backspace, that came from terminal. For example, because on terminal they actually have a key. Okay, not this one. I think it's the same with the VI, this one, at ADM3A. Yeah, I think it may came from this. For example, this, you see H, that's a VI's backspace. You have the arrow printed on it. This is interesting to talk about. This is about the VI key binding history, and also we can talk about Emacs key binding history, but it's too late today. So let's talk about that next time. So anyway, so I think that came from terminal. Now in Emacs it's different. Control H is something else because Emacs, yeah, most of Emacs key binding came from Lisp machine keyboards, and the father of Lisp machine keyboards is this one. This one is called Cell keyboard, Stanford Cell keyboard. Cell stand for Stanford AI Lab. Okay, and recently, 2 days, 3 days ago, Richard Stallman, he got kicked out. He quit as a Free Software Foundation president, and he also got kicked out as a visiting professor from C Cell. C Cell stand for anyway. It's something AI lab. Okay. Anyway, so Emacs key binding mostly came from Lisp machines. As to why is it H, I don't know the details, but I think it's based on H for help. In Lisp machine, typically you have an entire system like Emacs. Today a lot of people say Emacs is a Lisp operating system. Emacs is basically as close as you get to Lisp machine. In the back, in those days, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So in Lisp machines, and Lisp OS, you have like entire system. It's kind of like Emacs, almost like I Emacs. Okay, so you have a system. You have help system. You have like key binding system. You can customize everything. You have describe key. You have describe key, describe function. For example, describe. Hold on a second. Describe key control edge. Okay, for example, I can call describe key. Wait. Okay, so describe key control edge F describe function. Okay, here's a inline documentation for the command describe function. Anyway, so you got a whole bunch of systems, and typically in Lisp culture, okay, in this Lisp culture, everything is it's in sharp contrast to the Unix culture. Now let me talk about Unix cultures because then you get the easy idea. So in Unix culture, you have tons of abbreviations, like incomprehensible command names like cat, ls, cd, you got, and less, more, and you get fancy. Git is modern one. And anyway, that's a Unix culture. Everything is abbreviation, short, things like that. In the Lisp culture, everything is spelled out. Like Lisp is kind of like the whole cathedral. It's a system. So when it comes to it doesn't use all these cryptic abbreviations. So you have help and things like that. So when it comes to key binding, it's H for help. I think so. That's my that's what I think. Okay, so I think that's it for today. So let me just read the comments. We close now in 2 minutes. Okay, so like this more United States East Coast. What do you think of Wolfram Alpha? Wolfram Alpha, the few times I try, it doesn't really work well. I actually so Oh, Jeremy. So actually, last week I did a entire video on new kind of science, Wolfram Alpha. Okay, new. So let's go to Talk Show. New kind of. So this is actually a good one. Some of my videos, like once in a month, there's one or two that's the best for a month, something like that. So this if you are interested, maybe you watch this one. So this is September. I mean, this is August 28th. Math languages, scientific programming, a new kind of science. What is random? And cellular automata. Yes. Actually, wait. that one and scientific programming, a new kind of science. Yeah, so that one is about no. So that one, but there's another one. Turing, let's say automata, cellular automata, Turing machine. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I think it's that one. Wait. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. I think a new kind of science. I think it's certain one. No, because let me try to find it. Okay. Syntax. Yeah, yeah, that one. Just check that one. So I guess I probably lost all watchers. Let's see how many people are watching. All the people are gone. So anyway, that's it for today. Um, thank you, Jeremiah. And Boss Tia says I was in a Twitter discussion. If you want to look at my discussion on cancel culture, what is your Twitter handle? Post it. Okay, if it's not too out there, okay, don't post anything that's too out there. If your Twitter account is like all the chance stuff, don't post it. Uh, oh yeah, that's right. So Jeremiah is correct on that. That's right. Yes, that's a correct answer, I think. So Jeremiah says because Control H is the standard character for delete in a stream, Unix convention. Yes, but also I think uh, it came from ASCII. I think I'm pretty sure. Now, yeah, I remember it came from ASCII. And by the way, that Unix terminal, that VI Unix terminal, the reason they have arrow keys on HJKL is also because ASCII. They are all kind of tied together. So there, yeah, Control H. So ASCII code number eight. You have that's Control H back for meaning backspace. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching and Kiga. So yeah, man. So bye. If you liked my stuff, put money in my pocket. Okay. Uh, bye.